How to boost cash flow by finding properties zoned as ADU eligible. In the US, we have a housing shortage. There are not enough properties for first time homebuyers as there is demand. One of the ways investors are capitalizing on this problem is by adding ADUs to their portfolios. So, what is an ADU? An ADU is called an accessory dwelling unit. Basically, it's an additional living space that is separate from the main property. This could be a basement with a separate entrance, a garage conversion, or even a mother-in-law suite. This helps investors boost their cash flow. But can you split your home legally into two units? Not always. The safest and quickest way to do so is finding a property already zoned as ADU. This could be a single family home in a large lot that is zoned to be multifamily. Let's walk through how we can find ADU eligible properties. So first thing you want to do is figure out which city you want to look for ADUs in. For me, it's my market, Tampa, Florida. So you have to look for what county does the city sit in. In my case, it's Hillsborough County is the county for Tampa, Florida. Next, you will go to Google and search the county name, Hillsborough County, and then code of ordinance zoning. This will then send you to the county's link where it has all the codes that are relevant for zoning. You could find the multifamily one here. So in this case, I will click the Muni code. We are met with the home page. If we go to zoning districts, we can then scroll down and see the different codes that are available for multifamily units. For example, we could see here that RDC 12 is zoned for residential duplex conventional, whereas RSC is for single family. Now, I know this can sound a little bit confusing at first, but if you follow that methodology, you'll be able to find those codes. And next, we can plug in those codes into a free map. So if you go to Regrid, which is a free map site that you could use, they specialize in parcels and land data. You can enter in your city. Once you do, you'll be met with a quick synopsis about your city. So in this case, Tampa, Florida has about 230,000 properties. Of those, 196,000 are residential. Now, if we go over to filter, we can look for zoning. So let's go to zone, and let's filter on that zone that we saw is zoned for multifamily. So we can go back and we can copy RDC 12, bring it to Regrid, or just look for it here. And once we select the zoning, we can load it on the map. The map will now populate in purple of those areas or zones that have properties with the zoning code of RDC 12. And you could see on the right-hand side that we have some shaded areas in purple. So by Orient Park and Tampa on the right-hand side, we have some properties that are zoned as that, as well as up top by Temple Terrace and in some other areas as well. So this would be pretty arduous to have to do this for every single code. How would you actually know if a single property is ADU eligible? Well, if you go to a site like Zillow and you select a property, I have a property right now in Tampa, and if I scroll down, I could look at the zoning code. So going to property, other property information, we can see zoning. And this property is zoned as RM16. What does RM16 mean? We can go back into our code of ordinance for zoning for that county. And if we look at RM16, we can see here that it's residential multiple family. So this properties that are subject to RM16 as their zoning code are already zoned as being able to house multifamily properties. So in this case, an ADU would be an easier way to get it on this property versus one that is zoned as single family. That would take a lot more work. Now, how would we find this automatically? Because this is going to take a lot of time, especially if we're doing this across different cities and we're looking at things one property at a time. While with coffee closers, we can do this automatically. So for that same property that we just looked at, if we go to coffee closers, we could see it here, and it actually came up in one of our top searches. So this property was considered a top pick. And if we see here, we could see not only was it a top pick, but it was also ADU eligible. And if we go to the numbers don't look great. As is, if we look at our rental comps and we look at what the property is priced at, if we were to buy it today with 20% down, we would lose out on $400 a month, which isn't feasible. We want to find properties that cash flow. So one thing we could do is imagine that we are able to convert a part of either the home or add an actual standalone unit to the back of it. Now our rent could maybe increase by, let's say, $700 in the assumption that we'll be able to have maybe even a bathroom in that second part. So we can put here 35. And now we can see that our monthly profit has increased. But maybe we want to see it not just in the yellow zone, but in the green zone, so the sweet spot. We can now scroll down and see as we change our asking price. So for example, if we move it below 5% of asking price, our monthly profit is now $400, closer to that 6% that I may be looking for on cash return. But wait, there is more. So with Coffee Closers, we've taken the work of going through different counties, finding what the right codes are, and assessing that alongside properties. So you can actually use in our filters to just search only ADUs and find those properties right away. So take advantage of the opportunity of boosting your cash flow.